An entire world is ready for you to start your career teaching the path to wellness.
Mastering the science of mindfulness.
And the art of coaching.
To help clients achieve mental, emotional, and physical betterment of life.
Through movement,
nutrition,
recovery, and regeneration.
Because impacting one person impacts a family.
Impacting a family impacts a community.
And impacting a community impacts the world.
Become an NASM certified wellness coach.
You're listening to Random Fit with hosts Wendy Batts and Ken Miller, winner of a Gold Markham Award for Digital Media.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Random Fit. I am Wendy Batts here with Ken Miller, my friend and colleague and co-host. How are you today, Ken?
Couldn't be better, Wendy. How are you?
I'm just peachy.
Peachy, you come from the right state to feel that way.
I know. That was, what,
right.
For
That's
those
right.
of you guys that don't know, I'm based out of Georgia. So, now you know why the peachy. That's just how I feel every day, especially today.
There you go.
All right. Well, today's topic is a little bit, I think it actually came up from one of my clients who was asking about a particular food and said that they had been reading these articles and that they were researched articles. And so therefore she wanted to start cutting out something that is actually a macronutrient. So I wanted to know her whys. And I also wanted to know where she actually got her information. And it was not a credible source. And the claims that this company and this particular person was making were false. And so it's really hard to understand the differences between what are credible sources, what are ads, when do you know if someone's taking you for a ride or if it's legit. And so today we are talking about identifying credible fitness sources and high hopes that that you guys kind of think through some of this, because I know me personally, I have fallen under that. Late night watching TV, something comes on, I'm like, oh dude, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
Get shipped to my door. I'm like, what is this? And what was I thinking?
Yeah, and I'll say that I just recently I've made a purchase myself. And it looked really good. All those things that we're going to talk about. They checked off some boxes, but as soon as I got it, boom, tried it. Used the tool again. It was just so you guys know, it was a cupping device, right? And you saw it, Wendy. I had apparently I didn't fidget or I didn't read enough. Well, it's hard when the English was not quite right, as far as the instructions go. Again, that was clue number one, that okay, well maybe this isn't all that it was set up to be. So I mean, it works. It does some of the basic stuff that it claimed. But for the most part, it was, didn't live up to everything, which again, I succumbed to the price point was low. It was a holiday sale. And I thought, what do I got to lose? Right.
Oh, you saw my husband, but it was on sale.
It was on sale.
It should be free.
The risk was low. Yeah. The risk was low. Like I said, it did what it said it was going to do, but not the way that I had read it to work. So, but yeah, so when it comes to talking about the, credibility of fit, judging the credibility of the fitness sources, are you making an informed decision? This, what comes to mind is I had a client who was saying to me, hey, I'm into this product, tastes great. Is it good? Right. And I said,
right.
Well, send me the link. And right when she sent me the link, I was, well, look here, Jenny, across the bottom, it just says advertisement. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, I didn't even look at that. Right. So this is the stuff we're going to talk about today, as far as being able to identify, is it something that's going to be reliable for what you want it to do, or what you need it to do, or what you're looking for in that product.
Well, and I think too, now, especially with social media, there are all these ads that pop up, and you're like, I mean, and this is not fitness related, but I mean, around Christmas time too, there was like this really cute Christmas shirt that apparently Ken did not like because I wore it on one of our episodes and he made fun of it. But I was like, how cute is this reindeer? Well, first of all, once I paid for it, I thought, oh my gosh, I just put my credit card in. I really don't know, because, when you're looking at this one particular, website, I ordered everything, but then it's like when I scrolled down like 3 or 4, ads later, it was the same shirt with a totally different like company that was selling it, and it was making the same claims. And I scroll down a little bit more and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be taken for a ride. And I was like, well, at least I put it on my credit card, because if it doesn't come, I can cancel it, and then go through all that process. And then I started thinking, you know what? This is how my clients feel when they're looking at nutritional information and they're looking at different products. Because, Ken, you and I take that for granted. We know so many CEOs, and we're so, we really do network with so many great people. We know what a really good fitness product is. And we know that we're looking for stainless steel or products that aren't going to bend or break or made out of plastic. And so, I think the first thing that we really want to talk about, so therefore you guys know the difference and basically, what we're talking about. So myself, Wendy Batts, and Ken Miller and Random Fit, we're talking about credible sources. How do you know if, especially when you're looking at these products or you're looking at nutritional information, how do you know if it's credible? Number one, what is the evidence, behind the claims that they're making? And what I mean by that is, like, you can sit there and say, oh, this is going to do this, like, one of the butt blasters. And I'm just going to throw that out there. If you use this butt blaster, you are going, and this kind of pairs with like another number 2, which is they're speaking in absolutes. But, if you use this one product, you're going to have buns of steel, and you're going to be able to, do all kinds of, you're going to look this amazing way if you do 15 minutes every day using this one particular machine. And Ken, you and I have talked about this, using that one particular machine isn't necessarily working on their glutes. It was working on their piriformis that was actually going to mess up their sacrum. Right. And then they were going to lead to a lot of low back issues, which is what we're trying, especially as trainers, to avoid. But those claims were in absolutes, and it's hard because, people that really feel like they got saggy glutes and they want a little bit more of a lift. Right. Of course they're going to buy it. I would. Yeah. I know better.
Well, I mean, infomercials were just the thing, right?
Oh my gosh.
Heaven forbid you're up at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning back in the day, just flipping channels. And, and I just remember back then there was no fast forwarding. There was no getting through the commercials and getting to the next segment. There was no, viewing on demand where, it's just continuous. You had to watch commercials, and they had you sucked in, because, and you had that enthusiastic salesman, you had a great price, and today only, right?
They get you. Today only.
Today only. Right now, you have 23 minutes to call in to 1-800 whatever. That's what gets us.
And then we'll throw in these knives as, like, you're buying some fitness thing, and all of a sudden you're getting a set of knives.
Right. Exactly. And but. I think part of it is too is, when you look at some of the claims, and that they might have taken a research study that wasn't, not from a peer-reviewed journal, right? It might have had a panel of, just 12 people did this study, and they saw favorable results, and therefore this product or this method or this tool is legitimate, right? So, and then they build their whole advertisement scheme, or they build the product, whether it's a piece of equipment or a food item, or something that's going to help make your life better. And they say, like you said, as an absolute, in all 12, and everybody in this case study or in this research study lost 5 pounds or lost 10 pounds. Well, what they don't tell you is that, okay, these are, college aged, males who are on a varsity team, right? And they're like, okay, well, does that represent you? For me, 50 plus? No. Okay, so I'm not in the demographic that benefited from that. So when we talk about the research and how they support their claims, that's where you want to dive into. And that's what you want to question is like, okay, well, they're making these claims. Well, where are these claims coming from? And how did they come to that conclusion?
Well, and I think too, again, going back to social media or even going back and reading things, people will say, well, I did this. And of course, like they're bodybuilders or they're,
Right.
they have the look that you want, or they have, whatever it is, you want that look. And if they say, well, this is what I did, well, that doesn't mean that this is what research is showing, or this is what's good for you. And Ken and I really, we have said so many times, things, we are individuals. And so workouts should be individualized based on your needs, your goals, your movement patterns, and any dysfunction that you may come to us with. And so just because someone may, do arms a certain way and they do a bicep curl a certain way because they have this peak that you want, doesn't mean that if you did those same bicep curls every single day that you're going to end up having the arms that look just like that person. And I'm using this as an example because that's basically genetics, and your peak and the length of that muscle. And we've talked about this in other podcasts before. That's genetics. And so some people that have that like smaller muscle belly, it makes it grow into like a really big peak. That's going to be something different than somebody that has a longer, muscle belly. So therefore they won't have quite that large peak, if that makes any sense. And so the reason I'm saying that is, like you said, it's about falsifying information, and people are making an absolute claim. If you do this, you too can have this shape and this form. And if you use this product, you too will feel this amazing. Well, no, it's not a guarantee. You might, but it doesn't mean that it's research evidence-based material. And like you said, who is this subject size at that point? There was no research. It's me telling you, Ken, I did this, you should do this too.
Right.
And depends on if you want to follow my bandwagon or not.
Yeah. And that was the phrase. You too can.
You too.
Fill in the blank. Yeah. Heard that one too many times.
Yeah. And I think, another big thing to look out for, and this is some of the stuff that we actually gathered in our NASM material. And I think they did a great job talking about it is, are they, cherry picking data? And so meaning that, they're going to read some type of research, and maybe the research is legit, but they're not really reading it through and understanding what the outcome truly was. And maybe they were testing it and there was some positive reviews, but overall it wasn't anything that could be concrete of why somebody should or shouldn't do this. And so it's important too, especially, when you're thinking and listening to Kat Bearfield, who we've had on our podcast before, just because it's on a label and just because it says it's going to do this, if you take 6 pills every single day, this is going to be the outcome that you have. That's not necessarily true, because again, everyone on the inside is also different. And so just be very careful when you're reading these claims, especially, if it's from, and this is a big thing, where is that bottle of whatever it is that you're getting ready to ingest? Where is it from? Where is it made? Is it third-party tested? Is it pharmaceutical grade? Is it, mixed with rat filler, because they don't clean their belts and it's dirty in there. Like, you guys don't know this unless you do research about a product, especially if you're going to ingest it. So just be very careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that thing about cherry picking, Wendy, that's a really big thing, especially in the fitness industry, because you have, if there's been 30 studies done on a certain technique, a certain tool, a certain piece of equipment, 15 might say that works this way, and 15 might say that it doesn't work, or it does work, but in a different way. So again, when you talk about cherry picking or information or research bias, yeah, you can take whatever you like if it's and this is what a lot of us are guilty of, and myself included. It's like, well, this confirms what my current thought already is. And just looking at the literature out there, again, if something has had, like, say, creatine has been one of the most researched products out there, right? Favorable for strength gain, size gain, right? So the information is pretty overwhelming from that standpoint. But when it comes to other things, if someone says, oh, well, they referenced 10 different things, well, if there's 40 different articles out there in addition to those 10, well, which content did they pick to justify the efficacy of that product? So, unless you're going to look at meta-analysis, and basically what that is just looking at what does the series of research say about this product or technique or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And myself, Wendy Batts, is here today with Ken Miller on Random Fit. And we're talking about identifying fitness, like credible fitness sources. And, you just talked, Ken, specifically about creatine. And I was actually, talking to a bunch of researchers actually last week on this one particular topic, because I have a player that actually needs to gain some size. And it's interesting when you're looking at some of the data and the research points that people are taking for that one particular supplement alone. And, they were saying if you're mixing it with water or you don't have as many grams and stuff, that it's actually not going to do you any good. There's no benefit to that it needs to be a certain, based on that person's size. And so they were going into this. Now, again, there was also RDs on staff that were working specifically with these individuals, because I'm not licensed to do that. However, I wanted to know, how did they know? And I was asking all kinds of questions, and the data points that people have, I would say that's a pretty legit resource to go to because of all the people that are involved. However, if you don't have that and you walk into a GNC, and I'm going to say like a GNC or a vitamin shop or something, and you don't know, guys, you need to ask, and you need to make sure that you're working with somebody that can tell you, do you particularly need this? Did you get your blood work done? Maybe you're deficient in something, and you can go then at that point and purchase something that's going to be beneficial to you. But, especially with supplements and nutrition products and stuff, always be very careful with claims unless it's something, again, that is very well tested. If somebody is saying, if you get rid of this one particular thing from your diet, you too are going to lose 20 pounds guaranteed in 30 days. Don't fall for it, because you know what? That's a claim that is very individualized. And for them to say that's going to happen to everyone, that's not legit.
Right. And, as we're talking about supplementation, same thing goes for eating plans and diets as they are, because again, go to an expert, a registered dietitian for anything that you're going to consume from that standpoint. If you're talking about movement and exercise, and is this routine, is this piece of equipment right for me? Again, go to a professional, somebody that is their livelihood. If you're a consumer, right? But again, it's always about just buyer beware, and just know that there are viable resources to help you create a filter that'll help you make decisions on what to invest in.
Yeah. And I think another one of the things that you want to look out for is the emotional language that someone's using. If you eat this, this will kill you. If you eat this, this gives you cancer. If you do this, this will do this. And it's like, wait a minute, where are these claims coming from? We've seen, obviously, over time about cigarette smoking, and everyone used to smoke back in the day. Now it seems like there's random, not as many people are doing that. And there's these warning signs that are all over, because they know that can lead to cancer. They've done a bunch of research. They've done a lot of things, but they have that claim on the actual product. It's the same thing when you're watching some TV shows nowadays, and you're sitting there and it's like, if you take this drug, it's going to help you with your heart. If you have this, this, and this, side effects are death, increase in this and increase in that. And it's like, okay, look at the side effects, and where's the balance here, and then you need to speak with your doctor if you're going to implement something like that. So I think all of it too is important. When people are making claims, you've got to look at the good, the bad, the benefits. Where are you getting this? What's the research behind it? Because just because it says this will help you here doesn't mean that long term it's not going to do something bad to your kidneys, your liver, your lungs, or something else too. So I know those are really extremes, but I mean, I don't get a chance to watch very much TV, but I literally was with my father this weekend. He had, he's watching the news and all this stuff. And there was 3 different medicine companies that came on the TV, and it was like, oh yeah, this is going to help you live longer. And the side effects, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Why would you even want to try that? I think I'd live with whatever else that was.
Yeah. And they know, I mean, again, when you look at advertisers, they know how to pull on those heartstrings, right? Because, something as simple as, a heating pad for your low back, and the storyline, the narrative that they try to put in there, it's like, have you been suffering from low back pain? Is this something that hits you? And then they show, somebody that's not able to play with their grandkids, or somebody that gets up out of a chair and they can't join the family for an event because of low back pain. And all this was to sell a heating pad, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, man, I don't want to miss out on my family time. I don't want to miss out on work. I don't want to not be able to go out and do things. So I'm going to spend my $59.99. I'm sorry, it's $19.99 in 3 easy payments. Today.
Okay. And
if I call right now.
If you call right now, you'll get 2. We'll even throw in an extra one for you.
Throw in an extra.
I think the big thing, guys, because, Ken and I can rap about this stuff all day. Number one, where is it coming from? Who's making the product? And is it advertising that's getting you, or is it actually the product? And what I mean by that is there's one particular fitness piece of equipment. And, NASM is partnered with 2 of the biggest brands that are out there, but there's a lot of claims of other people that are selling some different devices out there for a fraction of cost. And it's like, you know what? Well, it's all doing the same thing long term. And I'm like, well, is it? Like, and so you really want to look at, what is it that it's claiming? And then also, what is the refund? What is, can you refund it? What are the, the reviews? Because again, if they're hiding reviews, or if you found it on Facebook and you click and it doesn't take you to an actual like legit website, that's something to be concerned about. And also too, sometimes if it's good, like you said in the beginning, Ken, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, especially if it's something that, is like when you're looking at some of these legit companies that are selling it for $200 or $300, and now you can get it for $29.99. Just be careful with that kind of stuff, because sometimes you may not get the product. That's another thing too. Fake advertising, fake news. You put your credit card in and it's a scammer. You need to watch that as well.
Yeah. And I think the other part of it, and this is a conversation I just had with a client, is like, if you really need it, okay, let's think about what the issue is. Okay, what problem are you trying to resolve? Right? Anything that you need that badly deserves its due diligence as far as the research goes. And, looking into all those things that you talk about. Okay, is there a website? How's their customer service? What's the reviews? And these days, unless they have some kind of, multiple social media outlets, right? The big 3, unless they're out there, then you have to question it, because if they want you to be able to come back to them, if you're not satisfied with the product, they're going to give you multiple outlets to resolve whatever issue you may be, because there's no product out there that's perfect, right? They actually put that into their budgeting plan for returns and refunds and repairs, anything that needs to be done. So there's not one company out there that doesn't have some kind of multiple avenues for customer service help. So that's one of the bigger things. If they just contact us, and all you got is an 800 or 888 number, and that's all you got, then keep looking. But my point to this topic is the fact that if you need it that badly, if there's an issue, keep doing your research, because if it's something that's going to impact your life that much, it deserves time, energy, and effort as far as your research and your due diligence goes, because again, it's just about buyer beware.
Yeah. And I think too, look at the description, because, Ken, you and I on another Random Fit episode that we did, when we were talking about some different products, when you looked at the description, guys, there was misspelled words. They were making claims that didn't really make sense. The sentence structure didn't make sense. And again, not saying that it has to be, purchased from this company, like, made in the USA, but if it's claiming it's made in the USA and they're making all these claims about this, that, and the other, and you notice that the description's not written in English, or it doesn't have good grammar, these are just warning signs of things like, okay, maybe this isn't it, or maybe start looking into the product that you're thinking about purchasing and seeing if there's other companies that make the same thing, and then find out. Then at that point, you need to do your research, not the late night, it's on TV, call today, for this deal. Do your research. If you're going to spend money, buy products, especially if you're going to ingest them, make sure that they're safe, make sure that they come from a credible source. Look at the website, look at is it a secured site? That's a big one right now. Make sure that you see the lock in the upper left-hand corner, like on the website. Also too, advertising, don't let it get you. There's some good advertisers out there. Marketing.
They're going to get you.
Marketing.
They're going to get you.
They're going to get you.
And I think most people also don't realize that when it comes to purchasing, again, the good companies say they're legitimate when they say 100%, 100% money back guarantee, right? Now, on top of that, they also know that most people, even because I know I've got a couple of boxes that I can return, right? Because I just haven't opened it, I haven't used it. But most people do not return their items. Most people will not return their items, and they're banking on that. So again, if you're really into something and you're really hoping that it's going to change your life or make it better in some way, shape, or form, get it. If it doesn't work, just know that they want you to forget about it, right? How many times have you put something out, I'll return that, it goes into the garage, and a year later, you've definitely passed that 90-day money back guarantee.
I don't know. I want to know.
As
soon as the box comes in, I want to know who it's like, because usually it's not always for me. And I'm like, do we really need this? Can we send this back? Is it free shipping, free returns?
Right.
One of us has to manage money around here, right?
Well, somebody has to.
Yeah. But I think, this was one of the reasons. Again, if you're just joining us today on Random Fit, myself, Wendy Batts, and Ken Miller, talking about really understanding credible fitness resources, and just really, I think, taking a look at claims that are being made. Again, we always, especially as a professor, when I have, students send in information and we're actually talking this week on like technology and products that are out there. I want them to find peer-reviewed resources. Now, granted, they have to go and look at, different medical journals and articles. Again, this is a master's level course, so I want them to show me that they can find these claims and make it true to what their beliefs are, and that they're intertwined. I don't expect people to do that or go to that extreme. However, it is important to do your research. Ask any of the fitness professionals that are out there, especially if you're a fitness enthusiast. I know that there's other friends out there that are probably using some type of products that you're looking to purchase. If it's fitness equipment, guys, it's really important that you look at the research. You look at the quality of what it is that you're purchasing, especially like something as resistance bands, because there's some really cheap material that's out there that they will snap very quickly. They can hurt you, especially when they come back and they snap your skin. I mean, it just hurts. It's not like it's going to take you out or anything, but I mean, that's just one example. So one of the things to look at, where are you buying it from? Fake websites. Is it a secure site? Can you return it? Are there people talking about things? So, people making claims. What's the marketing, and what's word of mouth? And I think that's my biggest takeaway from today, Ken, is, I don't want people getting taken advantage of anymore. And I know that it's out there more and more.
It is out there. And one thing that we didn't talk about is celebrity endorsements. I think, I'm surprised we haven't. Just because, they have the reach, they have the followers. I was just scrolling around the other day and I was like, this person has 6 million followers. That's a lot. I mean, so if you think that they just have a purely altruistic reason behind supporting a product or a service, just know that, they get paid by, they'll either get free product, free car, whatever it is, they'll get, they've got a financial interest in it as well. So they may not be doing this for your benefit, right? But, I don't know if it's just me being a skeptic in that everybody's some people are driven by money, but sometimes it's a good thing. But just don't be fooled like, oh, well, this person uses it, so it must be good. But still go through all those checkpoints that you just brought up, Wendy, when it comes to, why you would buy something or, spend your hard-earned money on, product, service, or a good. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, sometimes if it's cheap for a reason. And if there's a product out there that might be a little more expensive, my question is why? What makes your product different than this product? And then that's the question and the mentality that we're hoping you guys walk away with, what's the rationale, what's the claims, what's the cost, and what else is on the market that's similar, and then where does it fall price line or price wise, and then does it make sense? Plus, always feel free, guys, if you want to reach out to Ken Miller, myself, leave us a comment. If you have a question, email us, contact us, and we're happy to give you again, I'll give you whatever I think based on what I know, but what is that? I don't know. But if you guys want to run something by us, we're here to help.
Well, Wendy, don't be putting it. We're consumer advocates here. We're just putting it out there. That's all we're doing on this.
Putting it out there in the universe.
Yeah, just putting it out there. All right, but if there's any other way we can help, yeah, definitely we'll do what we can. So Wendy, great episode. You definitely reminded me on the fact that, do I really need what I think I need at this moment in time? But again, my bank account will thank you in the end.
Stay off late night TV.
Late night TV. Put it in your shopping cart. Don't buy it now. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you still need it, then do your research. All right. So another great episode.
Want. That's another thing too.
Yeah,
need or want.
That's right. Needs and wants, everybody. That's the closing statement here on Random Fit. Yeah. So if you like what you had to listen to today, hopefully you did. Hopefully it helped you kind of figure out, okay, what do I need to consider when making my purchases? Like, follow, subscribe, download, share, all that good stuff. But more importantly, let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about here on Random Fit. So on behalf of Wendy Batts and I, Ken Miller, thank you again for listening on this episode of Random Fit. And until next time, take care and be well.